Hey everybody, this is Tom with the Board Gamer. Today we're going to do a quick overview and review for this game. If you want the full how-to, go ahead and click this icon up here or the link in the description. Now let's get into it. Whelps to Wyrms is a 2 to 5 player game, 6 if you have the Kickstarter edition, for ages 8 and up, with an average gameplay length of 45 to 90 minutes. Originally published by Lamplight Games, but given a second chance at life by our sponsor for today's video, Spyglass Games. The campaign link for Whelps to Wyrms is going to be in the description below, so go ahead and click on that. The basic overview for Whelps to Wyrms has you, as a fresh from the egg whelp, attempt to gain experience to grow into a full-grown worm. You do this by exploring the land, hoarding treasure, and yes, of course, eating livestock and the occasional human. But beware of the slayers who attempt to wound you. By completing objectives, you will gain extra gold, and once the objective deck is empty, the player with the largest hoard of gold is the winner. Whelps to Wyrms was supposed to come out several years ago. Unfortunately, the campaign hit some hardships. Luckily for us, Spyglass Games stepped in and has offered a second chance for this game. After playing Whelps to Wyrms, I can honestly say I am glad this game was given a second chance. Let me tell you why I am happy to let this game be a part of my hoard of tabletop treasures. The components for Whelps to Wyrms are on par with other games released around 2017 when the game was initially supposed to be released. However, in the last 5 years, we have seen significant strides in production quality. I still really like the components, but they do not wow me like some of the newer games that have come out more recently. The cardboard components, like the tiles and player boards, are well made and hold up with rough handling. The improvement cards and slayer cards are easy to understand and look pretty good. The cow and sheep meeples are adorable and are fun to drop into your little dragon bellies. And the different meeples for the types of humans are just your standard meeples. The standees for the dragons and slayers are fine. They look good art-wise, but depending on how you place them on the board, they can hide a cow or sheep or even a smaller dragon behind them. We also have the wooden dragon tokens, wound tokens, and the plastic experience tokens. These cubes get the job done and are fine for what they're used for. The dice have a little design for the 6 value and match the color of the dragon, and the gold is fun to hoard and show off to the other players. Altogether, the components get the job done, and I'm happy with that. The mechanics for Whelps to Wyrms are not easy at first glance, but they soon become natural as you play the game. Everything is labeled for what you gain depending upon what you do. For example, the improvement cards and the tiles have a 1 and an experience cube on them to let you know when completing to collect 1 experience token. I do wish the game had a reference card, but if you have the rule book nearby, you can quickly check to make sure you're doing things right. One thing that makes the game a bit easier is the ability to spend your experience cubes whenever you want on your turn. Just 2 experience cubes shy of evolving to a drake? Just eat a cow, discard it from your belly, and gain those 2 cubes, and you can now evolve to your drake. And when you do that, you also get an extra action cube to do 2 more actions, or just raise a location for both. I can confidently say this game will seem less complex after a few playthroughs, or even a few rounds if you really pay attention to details. After several playthroughs, I can confidently say Whelps to Wyrms is a strategy game with a bit of luck when rolling the combat dice and drawing improvement cards. The overall goal of the game is to amass the most gold, whether it be by raiding bandit camps, completing objectives, or fighting slayers. There are many ways to collect gold, which can allow for many different strategies. And by avoiding fights, you can limit the luck and make it pure strategy, or, if you just want some chaos, you can attack other dragons or steal their lairs, which is especially easy to do if you take your turn after they do, since layers pay out at the end of the round. No matter how you play, strategy will play more of a role than luck will. With every playthrough of Whelps to Wyrms, you will experience something new. Since all tiles are placed during the game, the board you build will change each time. And how the board is populated with the different tile cards is also up to chance. The randomness makes each game unique, lending itself to be a game you can revisit often. Another thing that helps with the replay value is how the dragons play. Some of the dragon's strength lean more towards one strategy than another. This allows you to experiment with each new game to find your favorite. With all the randomness involved with each game, I think Whelps to Wyrms has a high replay value. The theme for Whelps to Wyrms is very entertaining. The ability to act as a fierce dragon and pluck whole livestock from random farms, and of course the occasional human to give them a new home in your belly, is very entertaining. You can spend the game eating everything you see, or raising all lands you come across, or even fighting other dragons. Or if you prefer to be more passive, you can explore the world and expand the board and populate new areas. You may even find empty dragon layers in the mountains. No matter how you want to play, the theme of being a dragon never goes away. But one thing that does get added are the dragon slayers. Since you will likely control one whenever you are a first player, you can charge towards other dragons to attempt to injure them, or bring them towards your own dragon for a good snack if you think you can beat them. This allows for fun gameplay, especially if everyone is trying to not get in each other's way as a dragon. But as a slayer, attacking a dragon is just the job and not an act of aggression. At least that's the excuse I use. The feeling of being a mighty dragon is great, and I think Whelps to Wyrms nails it. This board gamer says, Whelps to Wyrms is a great addition to any dragon horde. Board game horde. Not boring. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified about new videos. If you're bored now, click this for more games.